Have you ever landed on a frozen lake? Well, we're going to show you how it's done at a local airport in Quebec. Our channel is about taking you for a journey of what it's like to own and fly your own small airplane. Coming up. As we get closer to the airport, what we have to do is we actually have to make a briefing of what we're about to encounter as we get closer. So we take the airport elevation, we get the frequency that we need to call to let everybody know that's in the vicinity that we're on our way in, and we want to listen to see if anyone else is arriving, and we want to make sure that we have the altitude that we need to fly over the airport to integrate with any other traffic that may be there, and just generally start looking for the geographic signs that indicate that we're getting to the airport. Now that we know we're in the vicinity of the airport, we're going to start to reduce our power, so that way we're going to be going a little bit slower. It makes it easier to line up the aircraft and gives us more time to respond to any risks or threats that we may encounter, such as another aircraft in the pattern. You got to remember that nothing requires us to indicate we're flying around an airport. At an uncontrolled airport, you have to keep your eyes peeled at all times. This frozen lake is an excellent landmark. We're going to follow it right into the airport. Okay, this is the point where we're doing our downwind check. We've got the airport on our left. We're in the left-hand downwind for the runway. So we're checking our primer, our master, our mags, making sure that the mixture is right, that the carb heat is on, everything's ready for landing. Taking a look around for any other traffic that may be in the circuit. Haven't heard anybody on the radio, but as I said before, you always want to have your eyes open whenever you're in this circuit at an uncontrolled airport. Now we're turning left onto the left base for the runway. This is the last leg that you travel before turning final. You start your descent, you extend your flaps. Again, you're making sure that before you make that turn that nobody's coming from your right side, entering directly straight onto final. There are IFR flights that can land direct on a final leg to a runway. And there are also just other pilots that simply don't observe the etiquette that's required when you're landing at an uncontrolled airport. So eyes peeled, making sure we're clear of the mountain here on the right, and now we're going to make our left turn onto final and set up for landing. This runway has snow on the left and right side. It appears that there's an asphalt runway in the middle, and then a hard-packed frozen gravel shoulder on the left and right side. Everything looks good. We're ready for landing. All right, here we are at Saint Denis on the ground. It looks very different from the sky. One of the main things that you pick up here when you're on the ground is that none of these airplanes are flying here. If you look, they're all covered in snow and ice. Most of them appear to be float planes. It's such a tragedy because this is a nice municipal airport with a full runway. Beautiful landscape, and they've clearly taken care of the runway so that people could fly here. You don't really see anyone doing it. And if you look over there, you've got a shiny stainless steel looking airplane over there. That one is actually a part, and it's in the best position to fly of all the airplanes here, but the cowling's off and they're clearly working on the engine. So I'd say this would be an amazing airport to locate at, but you'd probably have to figure out a way to build a hangar here, because with nobody flying like this, the taxiways are just, they're not open. So I'm gonna give you a look down the runway. Nice, long, clean, wide runway. Beautiful landscape. Lots to see. Here we are at Saint Denis in Quebec, just to the east of Tremblant. Man, it's cold out here. It's got to be about minus 15 on the thermometer, probably about minus 20 with the wind chill. As you can see, there's almost nobody flying here. It's a beautiful runway, but nothing's really going on the ground here. Definitely would be a nice place for somebody to build a hangar. It seems like this airport is just about storing float planes for the wintertime. And what a beautiful place for that. I assume that because it's a municipal airport, that the town of Saint Denis is actually helping pay for this airport. I'm out here and I'm looking down the runway, and I can see that it's got an incredible amount of options here for a pilot that would want to keep their plane. Don't see a lot of hangar space. Just going to give you a little pan around the airport here. You can see over there, there's like a double hangar and then another double down there at the end. And behind that green and gray building, there's a whole bunch of airplanes just parked in the snow. I would say for every 15 float planes you have here, you've got one plane that looks like it would be flying in the wintertime. See, if you just look down this row right here, you've got float plane, float plane, float plane, float plane, float plane. In fact, they're all float planes. And I'm going to show you over here on the right of the runway here. But today the owner hasn't even taken the snow off, and it doesn't look like there's any power to plug the engine in. He's got a cowling cover on it, so he could be attempting to warm it up in some way. I don't really know what a guy like this would be doing, but the fact that he put skis on it means he had an intention to fly in the winter. It'd be interesting to meet him and find out if he ever does actually take a flight. I guess it's time to go. Thank you for watching Canadian Pilot. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have plenty of other videos. Let us know what you'd like to see in the comments section down below.